Hey everybody, welcome to the Shack. My name is Mikey and we are doing something a little different. This is called a Campfire Conversation and we are live at the Georgia Bushcraft Spring Campout with the owner and director of Georgia Bushcraft, Mr. Casey Deming. Casey, tell us a little about yourself.
Hey Mikey. So this is a fun opportunity to be able to chat with you in a little more organized fashion. But tonight I think is going to be very unorganized.
Oh yes, there is no script here. I'm just going to ask you questions and we are going to see where this conversation goes.
I'm terrified, but it's going to be great.
It's going to be a lot of fun, I think. So first of all, just tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got started with Georgia Bushcraft, some of the other things that you're involved in, because you are a serial entrepreneur.
So, well, I don't even know where to start. So Georgia Bushcraft, been doing that for, 2012, so about 13 years. And it started back when I worked for a company in Atlanta where I first met you guys in 2010-ish. Wow, that was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
My gosh.
I've known you for almost 2 decades.
Oh, that's awesome. And scary at the same time.
He's only 2 decades old.
I know.
I feel a lot older.
I caught him out of the womb. It's fine.
So started Georgia Bushcraft back when there was just a handful of folks, and
You guys started out as a Facebook group, right?
Yep, yeah. Bill McGee actually started the Facebook group, but there was only about a dozen of us back then, and now it's crazy to think that we had 2,000 people here back in the fall.
It's insane.
And I think we're going to expect even more this year, like a lot more. It's turning out to be something kind of out of control and wild, which is awesome because it's
for the people that don't know, what exactly is Georgia Bushcraft?
So Georgia Bushcraft, I guess on pen and paper, we are a outdoor education facility type deal. We host outdoor events, and people come from all over the world where we find people to teach classes, we find exhibitors to sell products, and we find people who want to be part of that community and come and learn and experience the outdoors. We have a lot of first-time people who have never camped a day in their life. You've
got camping, primitive camping. You've got RV facilities. You've got bell tents that people can rent and sleep in.
Yep.
So you've got a lot of options for someone that's new to the event.
With the full gambit. And it's really neat. It's all ages, all walks of life. People come from all over. But it's really neat how it's organically grown to what it is, and our people who help run these events really help make this community just a really fun, safe place and just learn outdoor skills.
Yeah, I've heard it said before that you come for the event, but you stay for the people.
I love it. Yep, absolutely. That's a big part of it. I mean, people who like gear, that's a huge part of it. We do these big raffles every night, thanks to our sponsors, LT Wright Knives, which was our original sponsor. I have to say, one of the first sponsors we ever had was you guys.
Probably.
And right, maybe the next year, started out with Wazoo, sent some stuff. That's where we first met, Nick and Dustin. But yeah, if it wasn't for LT Wright Knives, we would not have had any sort of credible sponsors to make it feel like we were sort of official. But yeah, so Georgia Bushcraft, we do 2 main events a year, a spring camp out and a fall gathering. The spring camp out's a little bit more of a homesteading and off-grid living sort of event. Themed, I guess that's a good word for it. We try to mix it up. We don't want to have 2 of the same events a year, so having something a little bit different each time makes it a little more fresh and not as much of a having taxing on our same sponsors and exhibitors.
Show fatigue.
Yeah, show fatigue is a great word for it.
And you've got all kinds of classes. There's 100 different?
100
events?
plus. I mean, in the spring, that's what we have this weekend. We have over 100 different classes throughout a 3-day period. It starts Friday morning, goes all the way to Sunday. But the fall is just a different animal. I mean, we'll have 10 different classes every hour, starting Friday at 10 a.m., going through Sunday early afternoon till our raffle. But yeah, so the fall gathering is more of a bushcraft survival kind of theme. This year is our Adventure Expo. So it's a fall gathering and Adventure Expo. So finding fun outdoor related sports and all sorts of things like that. So That's Georgia Bushcraft.
Okay.
Sorta. But then we also, in the past year and a half, we opened a store called Outpost Oconee. And so the Outpost started as the retail store on the property, the old farmhouse. Yep. We lived in it for years when we moved from Atlanta to help grow this business. Every time we have an event, we turn it into a store and a coffee shop and a place to gather and hang out outside.
And buy gear that you didn't bring? Or?
Yep, absolutely. Have a little bit of something for everybody. And an area right out front, the LT Wright courtyard, in which everyone can hang and enjoy food from our different food vendors and do raffles and giveaways and all sorts of fun stuff.
Okay, and so you've got some other businesses as well.
Yep.
So you've got Bushcraft Coffee.
Yep.
You've got Griffin Pocket Tool.
Yep. So the first one, well, I guess, yeah, Griffin Pocket Tool, I guess, was my first company. So I worked for a store called Going Gear for years, and that's where I met Mikey and the LT Wright crew. And then...
well, it was Blind Horse back then.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That is a good point. And so I worked there. I was the general manager there for 5 years and was able to meet a bunch of really great people in the industry. And that's what turned into Georgia Bushcraft. A lot of the folks that came in the store and were able to take them camping and have a place to go and experience the outdoors. And that's kind of where Georgia Bushcraft started. But at the same time, so did Griffin Pocket Tool. So Griffin Pocket Tool, it's a keychain multi-tool I designed back in 2015. We launched it on Kickstarter and still running strong today. And then Bushcraft Coffee is another side project, hustle, whatever you want to call it. A friend of ours that we met through Georgia Bushcraft, Micah, he owned Queen Bee Coffee. 2019, we had this conversation. I really wanted some good, delicious coffee. It was kind of outdoor themed, and so we started that. Going into 2020, the worst time of the year or decade, century to start a business. It's kind of worked. It's kind of working. We've done a couple of battle boxes ever since.
And now the big thing for Bushcraft Coffee is your single serve steeping bags. So
yes.
You can make coffee without any extra equipment.
Yep. Yeah, we the other part of having good coffee outdoors for us, or the other part of Bushcraft Coffee, was to make coffee more convenient in different places. And so we found this company, Steep. They make these really cool, it's like a tea bag where you just make hot water and steep
And it's
coffee.
Not like your Folgers bag.
No, it's actually delicious. It's our coffee. And they put in this totally biodegradable, compostable bags, and it's a single-serve coffee that you could take anywhere, nitrogen sealed, all the jazz. So it's actually still really good coffee, and you don't have to sacrifice convenience, for flavor, or sacrifice flavor for convenience. So, but we ran a Kickstarter on that last year, 2 years ago, and yeah.
You can't win, bro.
No, I can't win.
You can't win.
There's a lot going on here if you haven't figured it out. People are starting to come in and set up. A lot of the vendors are here already and stuff like that. So there's a lot going on in the background. So you'll have to excuse us if there's some interruptions.
Yeah, absolutely. But one of the really cool parts about what I do and what I've been able to have as a part of this community is the different friends who've turned into folks who have been able to help and grow these businesses. Mikey, you're definitely one of them. Another one would be this guy right over here, Matt Gillenwater, the voice of Georgia Bushcraft.
Isn't he the president?
El Presidente.
Oh, sorry, El Presidente. I didn't know this was a multicultural event.
Oh, yeah, and that's a great backstory, too, if we want to get into that.
No.
This is a PG podcast. I don't think.
This is a story for another podcast.
But yeah, so Matt has been here since 2015, and it's just another example of somebody who's stuck around for at least 10 years. And a big part of Georgia Bushcraft are these really cool raffles, because we like gear. That's a big part of the community here. We like cool stuff, right?
There's
Knives,
a lot of
sharp things. Most of them aren't cheap. What makes it great is when you win free stuff, and we know a lot of people that come to these events don't have a ton of extra money to spend, but man, they like to win cool stuff. So these big giveaways we do are out of control. Yeah, so that Matt has been a big part of that. But then there's other folks like Andy Dickinson, who is also sitting over here, who has traveled from Rochester, New York to...
Hey, everybody.
Hey,
Upstate.
Andy.
We love upstate New York. My wife is from upstate New York.
Really?
Yes.
So, Andy, when did you start? When did you show up here? 2018, 19, somewhere-ish?
Yep.
And it was a really funny story, too.
Yep.
So one of our spring events, before it became the spring camp out, it was the trade weekend. And so, again, we needed to differentiate between the fall and the spring. And so we used to do these big trade blankets. There weren't any classes, really weren't a lot of exhibitors compared to what it is now. But so the trade weekend, I don't know, 5-6 years ago at least, this guy, Casey, and he came up to me and I'm like, I know you. Where do I know you from? Oh man, this is Andy. We met at SHOT Show in 2012. Maybe 13, 15, I don't know. We met a long time ago in Vegas at SHOT Show, and Andy had heard about this event from a mutual friend, right?
You handed me this tool that you're just invented and said, yeah, I think I'm gonna, do this Kickstarter thing, hosting a party in Vegas SHOT Show.
And so out walks this guy I hadn't seen in years to an event in Georgia, 15 plus hours away. I don't know how many hours. How long a drive is it?
15 and a half hours.
15 and a half hours.
Nothing really.
Well, it's nothing for Andy.
Yeah, Andy's a world traveler, tornado chaser.
Road dog.
But it was just really neat that a mutual friend that we had no idea that we knew each other from invited him to this thing, and just happened to be our event. And then now, however many years later, Andy is our in-house media specialist. He takes all those really cool photos we share on Facebook and
He's
Instagram.
the creator of the image that you see.
Images 180. What is it now? Image
180 Adventures.
180 Adventures. Well, it used to be what?
180 Images.
180 Images, okay. So now it's 180 Adventures. But yeah, that's just another example of somebody that's just really pivotal in this community who has stuck out for a while and keeps coming to hang out.
Okay. So we know these events are not easy to do. It takes hours of your time constantly, year round. You guys work your butts off for these things. I have a little bit of a back behind the scenes, so I see a lot of the work that goes into it. What would you say is your least favorite part?
Oh, man. Least favorite part? I would say when it rains. When Mother Nature takes control.
The awake part.
Yeah, the part that I'm awake at. No, I don't know. I love every bit of it for some reason. I'm very, I like to torture myself, I guess. I don't know. But either way.
You love it.
I do love it. I don't know what I would do without it, but at the same time, it's a hustle, and my job is to make sure that everybody else is having a good time. It's a self-sacrificing thing, because if people aren't having a good time, why bother being here?
Casey, have you ever gotten to take a class at Georgia Bushcraft before?
I have never taken a class at Georgia Bushcraft.
But you have taken some of the classes that you do throughout the year.
Yes.
On the
So
property.
we do multiple classes throughout the year, weekend specific classes. Yeah, no. I've never actually had the opportunity to sit through a class, and so
If it makes you feel any better, I also
gonna
have
ask
never
you next.
taken a class.
Actually, yeah, I don't think you have, Mikey.
I have walked through a lot of classes. I have heard classes from my booth, but I have never taken through.
Taught them, never taken. We teach them.
I've never taught one or took one.
Yeah, I don't
You
think
taught a class.
I did.
You
teach
did
a class.
overlanding class
Yes.
way back in the day.
Way back way.
If you could teach a class at Georgia Bushcraft, what would you teach?
Or
Don't
take.
start-
What would you take?
Well, if I was going to teach one, it would be don't start organizing events unless you're crazy. And if I would ever take one, I don't know. Jim Boardwine's moonshine making class seems pretty cool. I have wanted to do that. I've never made a basket making class. Carly Fairchild always does a basket class. I've always wanted to do that. Ain't nobody got time. I don't have time for that. But
Those are intensive classes. She taught one at the knife company in Ohio, and it was a whole weekend
oh my gosh,
basket making.
They're high quality baskets.
They are very high quality baskets. I own several of them.
she's awesome.
She's amazing.
I know my mom and Jessica, my wife. they've taken several over the years, and they love it. And I don't know. I like being crafty, but I don't have time for crafty, unfortunately, on these weekends. But
You did just build a chicken house.
I did.
Online.
Built a sweet chicken tractor because my baby chicks.
Be crafty.
I need to see the egg
And it's
prices
a
out of
timeout
control.
place for your children.
Yeah, absolutely. They love it. If only they would actually feed the animals and things, you know.
Oh no,
but
that's
It's a
overrated.
children tractor?
kind of. But yeah.
He's
Not
just
alive.
lamenting on his life now because he has 3 children with another on the way.
Yep.
And you finally got that boy, so you can stop now.
No, way stopped. we way done. But it's great.
I always tell my mother that because I'm the last child and the only boy, so she kept having children until she had one she liked.
That's.
And if my sisters are listening, I love you all.
Casey, do you have more businesses or children?
I'm equal right now. Yep. Yeah, we're about equal. And then, well, now we see, this isn't business, but this is also my pro bono work, the Campfire Co-op.
Yes.
That's another big part of my daily or weekly routine, along with Mikey and several other of our friends in the industry.
Yes.
Which that started, golly, when was that?
2020 or around was
Yeah.
when the conversation started.
Yeah.
And I think it became a thing in 2021.
Yep. At the Overland Expos with Shane Adams from Essie and
Yes.
Mikey. Yeah, formerly. Essie,
He's still
but-
Shane Adams. He's just no longer
yeah,
with
yeah.
us.
Yeah, okay. He is still alive.
Known as Shane Adams.
Yeah.
He goes by Shayna now, but you know.
Yeah, Shane.
We love you, Shane.
We do miss Shane Adams. And Nick and Dustin from Wazoo.
And Heather from P&W Bushcraft, and
and
Michael
now-
from Outdoor Element.
Yep, Mike Mojica from Outdoor Element. Good group of folks, but it's really nice to be able to help facilitate other people who are in this industry that are just starting out, but also to partner and work with other folks just like us who
Yeah,
have the same
the
struggles.
mentorship and the collaboration are the 2 big keys for the Campfire Co-op, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have a pretty solid community of businesses and content creators and instructors that all participate with each other and support each other and help grow their individual brands, but also do a lot of collaboration together. So
Casey,
we work a lot like that.
am I interrupting a serious meeting?
Hey, Jax.
It's
Hi, Casey.
Jax from Wildcard Wilderness.
How's it going?
You're welcome. Unless you need something specifically, you're welcome to sit down and hang out.
No, you know, really, I just love to annoy you with all of my really needs. Carry on.
We're live.
We're live.
We're definitely live.
Enjoy. Looking forward to a fantastic event.
It's going to be awesome. My secretary's over there if you need anything. Just kidding, I don't have a secretary. That's just Skylar, and she's awesome and very helpful.
There's no such thing as
Just Skylar. But yeah, the co-op's been great. It's on a personal and business level for me, meeting different folks like Battlebox, Brandon, Kieran. Like, that's been a great relationship to be able to work with them. It's a bunch of different folks.
Yeah, we've got a ton of just really important, in my mind, content creators, influencers, whatever you want to call them. But
EDC community. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
we have a lot of the EDC community that we've brought in and showed them the Bushcraft version of EDC and how Bushcraft people like to carry as much stuff as the EDC people do.
Well, in the past 2 years, I think fixed blades have become huge in the EDC community.
Agreed, yeah.
They're probably one of the number 1 selling in the EDC community are the fixed blades, and people like Taylor Martin showing
Yes.
what Bushcraft is all about.
And Dominic from Max Level EDC.
Yep, Taylor and Dom and other podcasters.
I can't remember the girl from EDCQ.
Who all come down to Georgia Bushcraft, by the way.
Who all came down to Bushcraft, but they're EDCers,
Yes.
and they kind of adapted both into one thing. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think that Taylor Martin in particular, I feel like Bushcraft has really had a profound impact on how he views everyday carry.
Absolutely.
It's rare that you see him without a Viking whetstone on him, on his person, just as a good example.
Yeah.
An excellent Wazoo gear product if y'all are looking.
I don't know. He also he's been rocking some LT Wright knives.
Yes, he has. Well, we've been doing a carry commission, Frontier First, that they have a hard time keeping in stock. And there's a couple other things in the pipeline, but
Yeah.
there'll be some good things coming. I'm unfortunately not allowed to share that information.
Do an exclusive on the podcast.
I'm going to need to see the copy of your NDA before we talk about that.
Oh, forgot to sign it.
But I think
Nod your head if not.
blink twice if you're in distress.
Yeah.
I just, some of the things that have happened as a result of the Campfire Co-op, I think just has really grown how bushcrafters view the EDC community. I think we are a lot more open to the idea of everyday carry and how bushcraft can affect that, but also how everyday carry can affect bushcraft. You see a lot more bushcrafters carrying like Knipex pliers, for example. Things that you wouldn't normally expect from someone that's thinking outdoor survival. So I'm very excited to see that growing out of the co-op, and I think that there's a lot of support going on there for a lot of the Kickstarter campaigns and a lot of the ways that people are doing email marketing. Jacob from Simple Shot has been a huge asset for that for a lot of the businesses.
Yeah.
Their Bushcraft Bonanza that Simple Shot does is another great way for the community. Is great aspect and something for outdoor businesses to really consider if they're thinking about it. But to get back on you, because this is really about you and talking about you.
I dodged those questions.
I know, you're
Pivoted.
very uncomfortable talking about yourself, but we're here to peel the onion back, if you will.
Oh, gosh.
So, when you started at Going Gear, and it was primarily an EDC store,
Yeah.
what led you to Bushcraft?
Great question. So, at that time, pre-children and tons of obligations, Jessica, my wife and I, we loved to camp. We loved to go outdoors. And this was our, gateway drug into that, is working in an outdoor gear store and having these daily conversations with customers and folks that would come in the store. It fired me up to be able to, like, all right, let's go outside and let's go check this out and look at all these different outdoor educators, bushcraft instructors, whatever you want to call them, who taught these skills and had these really cool knives and gear. I don't know. It's definitely started with the gear, but then the knowledge, really kicked into place with, learning from.
Now, do you think it's safe to say that Jessica has probably taken more classes than any other person at Georgia Bushcraft?
You would think so. I think she's taken most of the taking the brunt of things of watching our children and.
Well, she also does a lot of the kids' camps and things like that.
That's the other part. It's just she does a lot of the youth education side of things. So yeah, she's definitely had her good time here with taking certain classes. But really, she holds it down with teaching the next generation fun outdoor bushcrafty stuff, which is awesome. And without that, I mean, if we don't focus on the next generation of kids that want to get outside, they'll never really
put down the Game Boys and the Switches.
Put down all the devices. I have three small humans now, and just getting any opportunity for them to get outside is our goal.
Yeah,
is what we do, and that's why we do it. But yeah, it started totally with us just wanting to get outside and learn and try to take classes from all these different instructors to, all right, well, let's get these instructors to come here to Georgia. Let's put our money together and instead of going to wherever they are, let's get them to come here. How could we do that? And then that's really how the community grew.
Okay. And would you say that there was a time in that transition from just being a gear knowledgeable person to becoming a bushcrafter? When do you think you said, I'm a bushcrafter now?
Man, I don't know if I've ever said I'm a bushcrafter. I'm probably the worst bushcrafter.
I'm probably right there with you.
I am like
Third.
I play the bushcrafter on TV at this point. No.
I'm a lazy bushcrafter.
Oh, totally. I love it, and I think bushcraft is a lot about the knowledge and the skills associated with it. But at the same time, it's for me, it's just being comfortable outside with you know more, you carry less. I think that's a big part about it. And so over the years, learning how to start fires a lot faster, or building shelters, or learning different knots. learning what certain plants and trees are good for. It's almost become a way of life, especially when you just spend any time outside. There's so many different aspects of bushcraft that correlate with
I made the
life.
horrible mistake of taking some of Craig Caudill's man tracking classes, and it has completely like saturated everything that I do when I'm outside. I'm constantly looking at footprints and looking at tracks and
Listening.
trails and listening. And he did a class where he did a lot with bird sounds.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, who knew that there's all these different types of sounds that birds make that mean so many different things?
Yes, it's a once you sort of scratch the surface and you delve into the knowledge base that is out there, it really changes how you view the world as a whole.
Absolutely.
And even just in an urban environment, how you're like, if I had to track someone in this environment, what would I do? What would I be looking for? And then you're constantly thinking about stuff. And like, I pay attention to footprints, and when we're hiking, and if I see that footprint again further down the trail, I'm like, okay, they're going in the same direction we are. They're traveling about this rate of speed, and all of these things that, like, I tell my wife, and she's like, oh, that's great. And I'm
That's
like,
cool.
No, but this
Nerd.
is important. You don't understand.
Yep. Absolutely. When I cut my grass and looking at the different weeds and things that I'm,
Like, I just
I'm
mowed
running
over a bunch of plantain.
I know, like there's so much longleaf plantain and wood sorrel and dandelions, and you could eat all that or use it for different things, but you never would really think about those things or pick up on them without just,
Dandelion's one of those really hilarious things because my mother's side of the family is very Italian, and they always had dandelion salads.
Wow.
And it was just like a thing, and I'm just like, that's an Italian thing. I don't really get it. And it really came down to the fact that when they were growing up, they really did not have a lot of extra money. So my grandfather grew basically everything that they ate.
Wow.
Between a garden and rabbits, and they just ate dandelion salads because that's what they could go and pick easily and have.
Yeah. Absolutely, it's wild to think, but yeah, it's so true. And that's a big part of what bushcraft is. It's just practical skills.
It's kind of making do with what you have, whatever that is, whether it's the gear that you have or the no gear, and you're in a situation where you have to survive with nothing.
Yeah,
and I think that is one of the things that people, as bushcrafters, either overlook or don't focus on so much is, I'm in a situation, this is the inventory of things that I have, what can I do with that? They're either super primitive or they've got all the gear. There's no, I'm in a situation, this is what I have, what can I make do with what I have?
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. It makes you consider, the things that you choose to put in your EDC kit.
Yeah.
If you're traveling around with it. That's what, like, for instance, Wazoo, they make wearable survival gear.
Yeah.
And so it makes you kind of think about
on one of the
stuff you wear.
podcast episodes, we did EDC, and everybody in the podcast, so there's 7 of us, they all put all the stuff that they had in their pockets in a box, and we weighed the box. And the average weight was 5 pounds of stuff.
God.
Oh my gosh.
I thought all these
Was
EDC
JJ
people
there?
carry titanium.
Well, you do, but when you
What
have
level of
14
EDC?
pens, it still adds up.
Greta, where are you at?
Yeah, was JJ like 3 or 4 of those pounds?
He was. This was just like we were. We do the podcast in the shop, so we stop early and we record the podcast, and it's literally like we stop working and we actually have a studio now that we've moved into the bigger shop, but we would literally like clear off one of the tables in the shop, set up all the microphones, and do the podcast right in the shop. So it was like coming right from work, and there was no like, oh, it's in my car or whatever, trying to make it look realistic, but it was quite interesting to see all of the stuff that they just kept pulling out of pockets. It was like one of the bags of holding from Harry Potter.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's like my Wazoo belt.
Yeah.
I don't think it weighs 5 pounds, but it has a bunch of stuff in there.
Yeah.
Cashing, bro?
Oh, I'm cashing. I got my
hat.
cash cap. Oh,
Cashing?
you guys cash
Mikey's
cap?
cashing?
That seems like that'd be a good commercial. Are you cashing? Are you cashing, bro? What do you got? Any cash?
Where are the Wazoo guys when you need?
I don't know, the big jerks.
I don't know. Where are they?
I miss them so much.
So tell me a little bit about the property that we're on. I know you have some family connections to this facility, and you did live in the house we're sitting in front of right now. But this is Jessica's family property, correct?
Sure is. So this property actually has a really interesting history. So the old farmhouse that we're sitting right next to right now was built in 1852 by my wife's. Let's see here, 1, 2, 3, like third or fourth great grandfather. And it's really neat to see that it's been continuously in her family ever since.
Yes.
And
there's an amazing amount of just spirit and history coming out of the house. You can feel it. But there's also spirits in the house, but that's another time for
Montel Williams 2004 Best of Halloween Edition. You may or may not see it on there. My wife will very much hate me for telling.
So the Beehive House.
Yep.
What's the history with the Beehive House?
Well, so that's a good question. That was built in like 1900, so at least the tax records say. No one really knows. It was completely abandoned, at least back in the 70s. When we first started coming out here and using the property, that house was, you couldn't even see that house. It was totally covered in vines and trees, and that, like many of the other barns and properties or pieces on this property, were completely abandoned. And because of Georgia Bushcraft and our awesome community of people, we have these today. We've put them back together. We've cleared them up. This farmhouse, I mean, it was full of junk. I mean, it was rough. It was abandoned. You know, this property is about an hour and a half east of Atlanta, and we're kind of in the middle of nowhere. And
I know I made the drive here.
Oh yeah, it was not convenient at all, for sure, for anybody. But since we started this, 15 years ago or so, we have slowly made this place into given it life again, another breath of life. And so the bee house right now, we call it the bee house. It always used to be the abandoned house or the haunted house. Yeah. But now Jim Alexander of Hardin Hill Honey, one of our friends and sponsors and supporters, he's kind of turned it into the bee headquarters. So he teaches a bunch of different bee related classes, beekeeping stuff. And
he makes really good honey.
Yeah, he makes really good honey. And propolis, if you guys know anything about propolis, it's some cool stuff. It's really neat.
Jim is also a very interesting conversation.
Jim needs to be your next interview. You would learn.
I don't think I could get Jim to sit still long enough.
Nope. I can understand that. But he's a cool guy.
How much tape
and
you got?
Yeah, how much space you got in this recording? Because you get a lot out of it. But no, he's awesome, and a lot of knowledge that we've gotten. He's helped me with so many different things. But having this old house here and kind of just bringing everything to life has been just a really great opportunity for me personally, but it's also been great for my kids because this is their family.
Yeah. And you've not only had a big impact on the bushcraft community and the people that you've brought into the facility, but you've had a pretty big impact on the county that you're in Georgia here. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful place to live. We live in a town called Watkinsville, Georgia. Like I said, an hour and a half east of Atlanta. The county is called Oconee County. At one point in time in the late 1700s, this was the edge of the United States. This was the end of the line. From this right here we're sitting right now, everything further west was controlled by the Native American. Another 400 or 500 miles, you had Spanish. So I mean, until the early 1800s, there was nothing over here. And so being a part of this community is really neat, historically speaking, because I love history. But being able to have our store outpost in downtown Watkinsville, and
in a historic building,
building built in 1919, totally haunted as well.
I was about to say it's on the ghost tour.
It's definitely on the ghost tour. But being part of this community is really neat. I chair the Tourism and Visitors Bureau for the county, so I get to help and bring more people to this awesome area to see what we have. And
I know, like, coming into the area, because you're very close to the University of Georgia in Athens.
Yep.
when I stop at the gas stations in this area, they're like, "Oh, you must be here for that Bushcraft show." So you get that a lot. And
it's funny because I was talking to the mayor of Watkinsville the other day. He's a friend of ours, and he said, we're on the map for art, antiques, and bushcraft. And he's like, "What is bushcraft?" Somebody had given me this survey, and this is kind of one of the first times I had met him, and he's like, "Apparently, we're known for bushcraft in Watkinsville." And this dude, he's awesome. That's not his thing. And so it's kind of neat to bring something different,
But you do get a lot of local support. Like the sheriff comes out
Yep.
and visits a lot, and
James Hale, our sheriff, is one of our really good friends and supporters.
Coming out this weekend?
Yeah, well, hoping so. Yeah, looking to collaborate more on some projects in downtown Watkinsville, maybe future event stuff. We'll see.
And don't you contribute by being on the tourism board?
Yeah, it definitely helps out a lot. Being on our tourism bureau really helps be able to facilitate things we do, but also we get to know about what's going on and help support other types of events and other types of companies, and our restaurant or our food trucks that come out. They're local small restaurants here.
and the tacos are delicious.
Oh man, tacos, pizza, it's really cool. But yeah, James Hale, sheriff, he's been part of this for a long time, and so we love having him. And
Contributed to his re-election campaign.
I mean, we may or may not have some votes in there for him, but yeah, no, he and then it's funny. So not only is he just part of this group, and he's probably related to my wife's family in one way or another, but his son JW works with me at the store in town every day. So.
Speaking of the devil,
Oh, look who just walked up right now. James Hale, yeah?
Sheriff James Hale, yeah.
We are doing a podcast. How are you doing tonight?
Bushcraft. I'm trying not to sweat right this second.
Amen. Yeah, that's the other part about Georgia and the interesting weather we have. We have
Summer, baby.
we have a heat advisory this weekend, and it just hit April.
Yep.
And
It's gonna almost be 90 degrees.
what the heck, man?
Yep.
And so so you never know what you're gonna get in Georgia. It could be snowing.
Yeah, if you don't like the weather, wait 10 minutes.
Yeah, it'll
Exactly.
change without a doubt.
What do you think the county sheriff has would think about what we're doing and his opinion?
Georgia Bushcraft does for Oconee County.
Well, considering the way we met many years ago,
Oh no.
we can be friends.
Oh
It's
It ain't no secret.
I think it's an awesome organization, and running out of cord here. Yeah, it's an awesome organization, and it's a good group of people. I mean, you can come down here and see anything from $100,000 RVs to people sleeping in loincloths and hammocks in the woods. I mean, it's
I'm the second one.
it's just a cool thing to where people who may or may not know anything about the outdoors come down here and they can learn different things. I grew up in the woods right here around here, so it's fun for me to see people who maybe don't know anything about being in the woods and the way they may act to something that they, the creaks and bumps that go off in the middle of the night, in the woods. But it's fun to be around, and we have a good time down here. So good, relaxing place to be, good family-friendly location that everybody comes and hangs out, and it seems to be one big family. I mean, I know everybody that's here pretty much now. It's been pretty cool being down here for the last several years. I can't remember how many years it's been, but it's been a lot. So
Feels like forever, man.
yeah, it's I think it's been at least five or 6 years for me. So at least twice a year. So
Jeez.
I even come pull my camper over here just to hang out with the Demings. Sometimes in the off season.
Away.
Yeah, just right down the road, just to get away from my wife for a little while.
Lie. She loves coming down here too.
Yeah.
We got our glowing endorsement from the county sheriff.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
So they won't be showing up for the noise complaints later, I'm sure of it.
They are the noise complaints.
No, man. No, we have a good time here. We do. And I feel like it's a big testament to this community and the things we do to have such local support. The majority of our people that attend these events, they come from all over.
Since we're kind of talking about you and trying to get back into you, I have one very serious question for you.
Oh, God.
If
What?
you could not fail at anything, what would you be doing right now?
I could not fail at anything.
Could not fail at anything.
I don't know if I would be doing anything different.
Okay.
I love this. I mean, I feel like every year our progression continues to multiply and multiply. And as long as the momentum can add, times 4 almost now. I got a beautiful wife. I've got an awesome group of friends and community that continues to want to come and hang out, and a great group of volunteers. I mean, I don't think it could get any better.
You're blessed to have a job you don't have to retire from.
Exactly. Absolutely, man. It's amazing. I love it. And I wouldn't change it any other way. Maybe a few little bit less stress moments here, there, but
They get smaller every year.
it does. Well, or I get more callous. I think I get more callous to it, you know. I often consider myself a firefighter, you know, when we do these events, because I'm putting out of fires left and right. But
Sure. Well, that's true with any time that you're organizing anything, though. So,
Yep.
what's next for Georgia Bushcraft?
Good question. So we've really pulled ourselves in the direction of the homesteading and off-grid living for the spring and the fall. We're really excited about doing this Adventure Expo, which is really just redefining a little bit more what Georgia Bushcraft is. You know, we're bushcrafty, but not really. You know what I mean? We are that, but then some.
The line between overland and bushcraft gets a little smaller every year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we just like cool, fun outdoor stuff.
Yep.
And an excuse to go camping and hang out with cool people.
And having gone to a lot of the overland expos for years, I was always telling those people that they need to know some bushcraft skills, because your car can break down, your truck can catch fire, whatever.
Absolutely.
There's lots of stuff that you could be put in a situation where your gear is gone, and what are you going to do? Miles from nowhere with no cell reception, no ability to contact help. So I think that they're starting to pick up on that aspect of it, and the bushcrafters are looking at the people that are sleeping in the really nice rooftop
Yeah,
tents.
they're sick of sleeping in the woods in their shanties. Them sprinters are looking pretty fine. But at the very least, you know, it's just about getting outside, no matter what. It's whatever your cup of tea is.
Cup of bushcraft coffee,
whatever that may be. It's just an opportunity to get outside and have a good time, but also learn skills, self-reliant skills, and share them with the next generation. That's where I'm at.
And you do have a lot of family-friendly events here, so I think this is one of the better places for the younger generation to come and to learn.
Yep.
I think that's something that you guys have always prided yourself on, is having opportunities for younger kids. And it's kind of started out as like a babysitting service, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Like keep the kids entertained, and now it's morphed into actually teaching them skills.
Yeah,
and
without a doubt.
having fun with it.
Bushcraftsummercamp.com. Get ready.
Whoa, man, you ain't supposed to tell them that. Mikey didn't tell us his first.
Oh, I know. No. We got a lot of different plans. We got some cool ideas for our new membership deal. We want to be able to provide more content in different ways for people. That's another part of what I want to try to figure out. Matt and I are talking about, and to offer more to our members and our community, and in different ways, do more fun adventures. We've got our river adventure coming up with our buddy Oconee Joe. That's at the end of May. We're just trying to get outside and get more people outside.
Okay. Is there anything that you feel like is not clearly represented to people about Georgia Bushcraft? Is there something that you want to just say that you want to be known for that you're not right now?
Good question. I would say our events are probably a lot cheaper than most of the other ones out there.
Misconception.
I think everybody thinks that it's hard to get into this, or at least to participate in what we do. But man, our goal is to keep it. I often think of it as the Costco hot dog mentality. Costco stopped making money on their hot dogs a long time ago, $1.50, and as soon as their board of directors said that they wanted to raise the price of hot dogs, CEO, or I forget who it was, said he's going to kill them. He's like, we're never doing that. It's a big deal. And the same thing with me. I'd like to keep it the way it is so it's accessible to more people. You know what? We don't make money at admission, but you know what? We'll get people outdoors and people will keep on coming back.
That being said, if you could encapsulate Georgia Bushcraft in one sentence, what would that sentence be?
Oh, I don't know. Somebody said it earlier in our meeting, or maybe over here. You know, they come for the event, they stay for the people. What was it? Who said that?
We came for the event and we stayed for the people.
Yeah, we came for the event and we stayed for the people. I think 100% that would be the sentence.
Community first.
Yeah, community first.
And you've got a great group of volunteers that put a lot of sweat equity into the events, and a lot of them come back year after year after year.
From afar.
Goats.
Yeah.
Goats.
Yeah, I'm telling you. We have volunteers that have been coming for years that they live in Washington State. You know, or all over. I'm just saying, like as far as that. Or drive from Rochester, New York. You know, South Carolina. I'm just saying, you need to get coming south here. You know, we have people that come from all over, and again, I think it's a testament to who we are that these people, they take their vacation days to come and help out. Like that, you know what I mean? Like Mark over here, Mark's been here for, you're coming up on a week now. I know tomorrow Tim will be here a week.
2 weeks and came down.
And you were the 2 weeks prior. So it's all about community. It's a bigger goal, and it's fun. I mean, we want to have a good time.
Yeah.
If we ain't having a good time, there's no reason doing it.
And the fall event was sort of your pinnacle last year. You had 120 vendors, I believe.
Yeah, I know we sold about 150 vendor spots. Multiple vendors had multiple spots. So yeah, we were well over 100 different exhibitors.
And you had what, 2,000 people here?
Yeah, somewhere around that range, maybe more. It's hard to say. We had a ton of day people, and that's the other part that's really nice about having the store in town. We now have a footprint locally that we can tell these people, wonderful people of Oconee County, what the heck these weirdos are doing over here in the south side of the county. For the longest time, it was kind of a joke. We didn't live out here full time at that point, and so we'd come out here a couple times a year, and we'd have some firewood delivered, and these folks, they'd come out here like, who are these redneck weirdos, you know, homeless Shantyville out in the woods, you know?
Yes.
And but being a part of this community full time, you know, my wife's a teacher here, my kids go to school here, we have a small business in town. It's really helped grow our local outreach. So not only we have people, thanks to social media, coming from afar, but we're able to hit our local community to be a part of it, and they love it. It's been great. So,
Well, I think we've talked for a while now, and I think we've kind of hit on a lot of the Georgia Bushcraft stuff, and we've looked at some of the things that you have done. What would you say is the one thing that you want people to know about you?
about me, I don't know. I'm pretty regular dude.
Because you're kind of the man behind the curtain for most of these events. I mean, a lot of people see you running around and they hear you on the radio, but they don't know you.
Yeah, I don't know. I love my friends. I love my family and America. I don't know.
Just because you don't answer the phone doesn't mean you don't care.
Yeah, I think that's a good part of it. I want to apologize ahead of time to all my friends and people listening that I've probably pissed off over the years because I just hadn't gotten back to them right away.
That's why we got the stickers made that said, hey,
have you seen me? My wife made stickers and gave them out to, I don't know, thousands of people. Oh my God. That said, I had a ridiculous photo of me and said, have you seen Casey? Because that is the theme. Everybody's, have you seen Casey? But like, I'm a facilitator. I like to make sure that people, you know, are having a good time. And, you know, every single one of these people out here right now and that's ever been here is our guest.
All right, so you've got 47 listeners of our podcast, most of them in Portugal and Brazil, Belgium, sorry. If you could give one, invitation to an event, what would it be?
Oh man, I would 100% say check out either fall or spring. Fall would probably be the one to come to because that's where you're going to see the biggest crowd. You're going to see the most international group of folks. For now, I don't know. The future may tell that the spring will be the event. But yeah, I would love to have and welcome anybody to Georgia Bushcraft. Everybody, every type of person, age, location has been here, and we would love to continue to grow that. And once you see it, you'll realize why you want to come back. But it's hard to explain to people until they get here. That's the biggest hurdle for us is trying to tell the real story. You just got to see it.
Yep. So come, just come.
Just come. You'll see.
All right. As we're kind of winding down, give me all your .coms because you're all over the internet and all over the social media. So where can people find you?
GeorgiaBushcraft.com would be the easiest to find. If you're on Instagram, same Georgia Bushcraft, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, all the jazz.
GriffinPocketTool.com.
Yep, GriffinPocketTool.com.
BushcraftCoffee.com.
Yep, Bushcraft Coffee, Bushcraft Coffee Company, and OutpostOconee.com.
Okay. Is there anything you'd like to say before we conclude?
I love Mike Henniger and LT Wright Knives, and I do appreciate the opportunity to be on your podcast today, Senor.
Well, thank you for being our test bunny on our inaugural Campfire Conversation, and I hope the listeners enjoy it as much as I did.
I am looking for more, and hopefully we can get a bunch of other cool people in here. So,
Yay!
yay! See ya. Good night.